Hello everybody, my name is Markiplier and welcome to Canabalt. In the theme of some of my favorite games from the Newgrounds era of gaming, this one came along and kind of spawned a new genre of gaming. If you don't know about it or you never played it before, I highly recommend checking it out. It's got addictive, simplistic gameplay, which is kind of the secret ingredient of many app games, things on the iPhone or Android or whatever you play it on. But either way, about this game is, it came out in 2009, and I don't know if it's the first in its genre, but it is kind of at the beginning of the endless runner fiasco that happened. And I call it a fiasco because I think that it's overplayed at this point. If you've ever played like Temple Run or anything like that, then you know about endless runners. Better at this game than it's gonna seem. And I challenge you guys to beat my score when you play it for yourself because it is very, very fun and simplistic and addicting. And that's kind of what game developers have tried to tap into, and especially with the App Store and whatnot, and trying to get games out like that. They end up making a lot of money, and there's a few reasons why they make a lot of money and they're very addicting and people love to play them. It's one, simplistic and easy to get into. It's kind of got the Flappy Bird style, anyone can play it, but it's very hard to master type of deal. It's also got a different aspect to it that I was trying to come up with a way to say it before I started recording, but I had trouble. When I was doing research about this game, I know that the developers made this game in about 5 days for a particular game jam. They styled it after like the rooftop sequence from Casino Royale and then Mad Men and a whole bunch of other things like that. But, whoa! Okay, well, I died there. But what it came from, or what it came out of it rather, after it was made, was this whole attitude about games that could be simple and easy to get into that weren't entirely complex. Now, whether it's easy to develop or not, because this one was made in 5 days, but I'm willing to bet, I wasn't looking, I was looking at the camera, I apologize. But I'm willing to bet that something like Temple Run takes months and months and years to develop because the developers fine-tuning it to try to tap into that perfect market so that everyone's gonna play it and everyone's gonna share it and everyone's gonna love it forever and ever and we are willing to shell out a lot of their money. But when I look at a game like this and I try to see why it's a fun game in particular, which I think a lot of developers miss out on when it comes to a fun game, but the reason why this one is a fun game to me and got really popular very quickly and sticks in the mind of a lot of people when they think of an endless runner is because this— get this! I'm good at games! I swear! But the reason why this one is good in particular is because there's a fundamental concept there. It's a single-player game. That's true. Like, only one person can play this at a time. But it spawns up— I pressed a button! It's a single-player game that spawns a multiplayer experience. And what I mean by that is that one person plays this game, but this game is fun at its heart. It's simple, fun, the concept was new at the time, and it was very addicting to play because you wanted to beat your score all the time, and that's like the old style of gaming. It was very hard, you died instantly, and you wanted to beat your score. But this one in particular is good because it's so easy for people to get into. I literally only press one button, and the only constitution— jump. The only constitution is skill is your reaction time and how quickly you can do certain things and how quickly you can accomplish obstacles. So it's a single player game, but it spawns a multiplayer experience in that you go out and you share this game with others, not so much to share it because it's fun, but to share it because it's fun and you bet you can beat your friend at it. Like, that's really what it all comes down to, is because there's a challenge to it. And when there's a challenge to a game, there's this incentive for competition. Ah! And I died. There's an incentive for competition in that people want to see other people perform worse than you did. And it's weird because, like, games that tap into the competitive aspect of certain things, like, nowadays, not so much as they did in the past, but the games that originally did and wanted people to incentivize being better than their peers at a certain— I was on the jump! It even registered! Okay, whatever, that was total bull right there. I dare you guys, I sincerely dare you guys. And also, if you do know what games came before this that were endless runner genre type games, please let me know in the comments below. I know that I'm not entirely right about a lot of things, so I want to be very careful about what I say. And all this is just my opinion. If you have your own opinion, please let me know in the comments below. But, like what I was saying about the competitive aspect of the game, period, is that there's so much also mysteriousness to the game. God, I wish I could say more and concentrate at the same time, because there's a lot going on here. Another reason why it is this could be bare bones black and white. No, the guy isn't obviously in a suit. The guy isn't anything. There's no background or anything like that. And the game would be fun. But the addition of the fact that there are ships flying by, there's like missiles or turbines crashing into the ceilings, there's buildings that are falling down. You can see in the background there's machines like crawling around, gigantic machines based on the size of the landscape. Like right there, you can see like 2 machines in the background. Like, what is all of that? Why is all that? And the music is phenomenal. Like, the music is addicting. It fits with the theme of the game. There's rumble, there's sounds, there's birds flying up everywhere. It's such a simple game, and yet there's so much going on to it. That kind of adds to it. Like, the theme of Temple Run is that, yeah, you're just running away, but if you weren't running away from those monsters, there would be less interest in it, I think. This, I swear! I'm trying to concentrate on my thoughts, and I don't want to get all over the place like I was in Spewer. I was trying to say a lot of things when I was playing Spewer, but I the button! Okay, give me a second here. I'm pressing I bet the C button's broken. The controller's broken, the keyboard's broken, it's not my fault. Anyway, so there's a lot going on in a very simple package. There's a lot appealing to the eyes because it's fast-paced, but also each time you play, you register a bit more of the background at a time, and each time you play, you want to try to solve the mystery. But this is a game, and there are many games like this, that doesn't ever explain itself. And it doesn't need to! It doesn't need to explain itself because all of the clues are in the environment. And I've said that before about games when I was playing them before. Like, I love a game that tells a story as the game's going and you don't need to know anything about it. Like, there was I know when this first came out, there was a whole bunch of, like, stories about why the world was coming to an end, apparently, and why this guy was running so fast on a rooftop to get away from something or... Stop hitting things, it'd be fantastic. But why this guy was doing all this stuff in the first place, which is part of the mystery of it, and part of what got people talking about it, and part of why people were sharing it. And the developer itself said that, you know, he came up with the name because his kid, or there was this kid that said Canabalt weird. It does get very hard, and I don't know what the maximum high score in the world is. I would love to know. But it's like, that's all it was. He came up with themes inspired by Casino Royale and Mad Men. I don't know if I said that before, but... and then he came up with the name simply because his kid said Catapult weird. And Cannonball, I believe. I was reading a small article about this because I wanted to know if this really was the first Endless Runner game. And it's hard to say because I don't really know. I didn't research all that long. But if you guys do know, please let me know in the comments below. Yes! Finally! That's like the hardest thing to get. Because you gotta hit it in just the right angle so that you don't smack into a wall before you go down. But I'm gonna concentrate before I end this because I think I said everything that I wanted to say, and I want to show that I'm not all that bad at these games. It's cause it's okay, one more time. I'm gonna get it. It's so aggravating, but I want to beat it. Like, that's why this game's good. And that's why some Endless Runners are actually good, because they do encourage that type of thing. Basically, if you didn't know, if you haven't played it for yourself and you're just watching me play this one, you jump higher based on how hard you hold the button. And that's literally the only aspect of skill in this entire game. That's the only thing that you can actually control, because it goes on itself. I'm not even pushing myself forward. I can't slow myself down. I can't... Alright, I just gotta remember I don't need to hold down that as long as possible. And I'm gonna get a high score here. I want to get over 3,000, because I know, like, my high score at the end of it was like 6,000 back when I played it a long time ago. It was really high. I was very proud of it. I had a very big number to my name, and all my friends were horribly embarrassed at how much worse they were than me at this game, and I'm gonna get good. And also, I think after this, Robot Unicorn Attack came after it. I think that was made by the guys at Adult Swim Adult Swim Games. And then they came up with the concept of that, and kind of evolved on the concept. Instead of just jumping, you also had a dash attack. And then, like, game developers after that kept adding to the formula, and I feel like, in some way that's good when you add to a formula, but also it's bad because it detracts from the original experience of why this game was so simple and fun. Not to say that Robot Unicorn Attack is a bad game. I actually really like that game, it's really fun, and it evolved in the right way, but as with a lot of these games, if they evolve in the wrong way, they can actually be worse than the original experience! Very, very hard, because I'm looking at where my character is, and the problem with this game, I need to look ahead at where my character's going to be and just trust that I'm gonna be there at the right time. And also, a little pro tip, Markiplier pro tip, you need to jump before you get to the end of a complex so that you have time in the middle of the air to predict what you're going to run into. Because right there, that's important. Okay, hit that, that's not bad. I'm still going. Because eventually, if you even hit an object and lose momentum a little bit, that's going to be horribly detrimental to your long-term play. Yep. But I just need to be able to predict what I'm gonna run into. I need to see the whole picture at all one time. So bad now. I'm gonna make it. Ah! Ah! Make it. Ah! Okay. Okay. Come on, 3. Ah! Ah! I didn't do it. Ah! I didn't do it. Right there. Frick-a-frack. Well, anyway, that's all I'm gonna embarrass myself with this game, but if you haven't played it before, definitely check it out in the description below. There's a lot of other games that spawned out of it, so if you got another one that kind of evolves in the right way, like I was saying, please let me know in the comments below. I love this game. It's one of my favorite games, just because of how simple it is and how easy to get into. Back when it first came out, whenever I was working on something else, it was easy to just hop into the game. And that's what a lot of people do with their phones now. They just hop into a game just for a little bit to try to beat it a little more. That's part of the reason why Flappy Bird was so popular too, because it was obscenely hard, but so simple. Like, everyone could get into it and everyone wanted to see how much better they were than their friends. So, like, I'm no game developer. I'm no game developer. All I am is an enjoyer of games. So all my opinions are just that. They're just my opinions. But I'd like to think that I know my way around games sometimes, so let me know what you think in the comments below. If I'm a total prat and just an idiot spouting nonsense, then let me know that also. So either way, thank you all so much for watching. Check out the other awesome games that I've played down in the description below or in the annotations over there. And as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye! I love it. I'm spitting everywhere. All right. Sticky grenade. Uh-oh. Oh, that was...